Well, hello everybody. I want to do this live. I want to, before I leave for work, which I'm on my way, I thought I'd stop. I just had something to eat. I had a busy day, very busy day. Got 2 oil changes done, 2 vehicles, very important. Maintenance is always good. 2 hard, rainy days in Alberta, so my days off were pretty much wasted. Lots going on personally with the government and everything else with me. It's really taxing me, but that's just the way it is, and we have to move on with that. I made the title of this video Food Insecurity Canada, and recent shares from a friend of mine, Vaillant, and it's on the Superstores, and the new security protocols, screens, exit entry, shuffling people in, and it's basically isolation points. And people ask me, they say, is this to do with another scamdemic and all this? No, it's not. It's got everything to do with Food Insecurity Canada. I just hit Wendy's fast food, not a major fast food guy, but I stopped and I ate, and $20 for a meal. I mean, I remember $4 for a meal at McDonald's or other, right? And now it's about $20, the average fast food. Go to grocery stores. I grocery shop all the time. No stranger, I follow cucumbers. That's a good indicator of just how radical inflation's gotten, and food insecurity in Canada. That's cucumbers. I watched them go from 73 cents. I clearly remember sometimes you could get them on sale 68 cents, 69 cents, somewhere around there, and that was just 4 years ago. Now a cucumber goes somewhere in the neighborhood of $2 and then some. If you're lucky at some of the chains, you might find cucumbers for $1.75. That's a good deal. So that's just my marker for how bad food's gotten. And with our politicians and what they're rolling out and how they're trying to drive our system going forward. And like, I bless you, Vaillant. Big businesses know, they know already, and they're prepping that security detail to deal with people forcing their way into Canadian grocery stores and looting them on food insecurity. And that's mass people without something to eat in Canada. And they're doing that, and they're going to get there. And the system's designed itself to stop that. Pierre Poilievre just released that he's going to crack down on murderers. Multiple murderers will be locked away forever. Police are going to have sweeping powers. We're going to remove the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, due process, rights of being detained and charged. It's all going to be removed. It doesn't matter, Justin Trudeau, Pierre Poilievre. They've got ways of crushing those that they've forced into poverty. And definitely you're not going to have the power against the politicians here in Canada. It's just reality. So, no, it's not a scamdemic. Vaillant's share of Superstores and their major security and their buffer zones and having the power to literally lock down the stores and set up riot security style gates, that's going to keep all those who can't afford food out. And it's to suppress a mass amount of the population right here in Canada. Canada's getting ready to go to war against that which they created, the lowly subjects and savages, as were legally defined. And it'll get to the point, if you're not making $40 an hour in this massive taxation without representation system, you're going to be in big trouble. You're going to be food insecure, energy insecure, housing insecure. You add all those together, which people should already know. Look around at tent cities. I don't think there's a family out there that doesn't have a member of their family involved in that. I know I do, and I know what happens to those who are left behind, which clearly are, and at a rapidly increasing rate. And we can all point the finger and blame people, well, your lifestyle led you to this, but I see it clearly. I know Ron sees it clearly, and maybe in due time. Ron's got an excellent YouTube following. My Facebook goes up and down with waves as I get rid of problematic people. You have to, and I don't feel bad about that. Yes, censorship coming in. We see all that too with recent bills. The government knows, according to CSIS and Statistics Canada, that the biggest growing threat is Canadians themselves, Canadians and First Peoples figuring out where they fit in and where they're going to fall into in the coming years. And that's the biggest threat in Canada. Created, of course, by the greedy, seedy, lying, cheating, filthy politicians who, at an inverse rate, as poorer and poorer Canadians become, as expanded poverty grows, the wealthy elite, which is largely all of your politicians, they grow at an inverse rate to the poverty rate of so many Canadians. You can go back just 20 years ago and see the change of that class of people moving into another class of people, the poverty class, third class restricted. It's now a majority in Canada. Those without are a majority. Working class, long gone. NDP, the Labour Party, what a joke. As long as you wear a crown, you're no Labour Party. And I see it here in Alberta. Two politicians, one causing me a lot of grief, and has caused me a lot of grief for a lot of years, basically trying to get me to go behind him. And I'm just like, this, right? Like, you want to tell me about labor? You've never worked a day in your life, and you're going to tell me about labor, honest labor, skilled labor. And we know we've all been shortchanged. Small business knows they've been shortchanged. Medium business knows they've been shortchanged. It seems only the big conglomerates with global ties, or definitely insider access to that elite first class. As I've always said, the story of the Titanic, first, second, third class, designed and built. I'm a boiler maker by trade, a welder. At least that's the union I'm in. And in those days when they built the Titanic, like many ships in the old world order, first, second, third class, and then there's the boiler makers, those who run the ship. And of course, they're locked down. As soon as there's any major catastrophic or even medium-sized event, you lock the Boilermakers down at the bottom. They're drowning to give more time as the classes go up. And of course, third class is sacrificed, half of second class, because those ships are only equipped with enough lifeboats. Like when you look at the Titanic, there was only ever enough lifeboats for all of the first class and a limited amount of the second. And they better have enough money and wealth and influence to be in those first lifeboats, because I promise you, they're locking all the pressurized doors in each level of this pyramid called the Titanic. Like many ships, it's just a story that everybody should watch or learn. It's, we see the dramatic effect of the Titanic on the deck. There was classes who never even saw the upper deck of the Titanic. They took the cheap seats, right? And that's how Canada runs. Canada's run entirely that way, all the way through. Again, when you want to know what this superstore and these security gates are all about, it's about keeping out the food insecure, those who can't pay, those starving. And it's coming. If you don't believe it, what would that system be for? It's not for no pandemic. or anything else. I mean, we've seen this in history. If you don't know the first major pandemic, World War I, and of course the pandemic, this is all old world order stuff. Been done many times in many generations, and it's always when the wealthiest elite just keep taking too much until the system crumbles. And that's unfortunately largely a majority of the world today. It was the promise of never again. World War II, the Allies viciously fought. Some of those allies have been overtaken. Obviously, UK and France never, ever changed their evil ways. All you have to do is look at their colonial assets. I've got Argentina, I got emails, I got so much going on, folks, that gets into all these things. Argentina, bringing up the Falkland Islands, and of course the UK, 8,000 miles away, 300 miles away is Argentina, and they're talking about that again and negotiating with the UNSCP 5 power that did the same military operation, except thousands of miles away. It was okay for UK in the 80s. It was okay. It was okay what they did, but not Russia and Ukraine. No, siree, Bob. It's pathetic, folks. And when you look at the world, you see the truth of things as they are. These things have happened many, many times. Over 5,000 years in the monarchical systems of divine class, first class, their second, that they pick the best of, that will honor this elite few at the great and tremendous expense of always a third working class, call it that, the small business, the medium business. You're there too. Only very few of you make it to level second class, and you better wet your lips and Vaseline your several orifices, because that's where you're going to get it. And of course, if you don't stick and stay with that class, you'll be booted down to third class. That's how it has always worked, folks. It always will work. And does it lead to revolution? Sometimes and eventually, but I'll tell you, majority of the time in this 5,000 year system, they are always successful. And even in the resets or the squabbles, they earn in the rebuilding phase, and generation after generation, like so many ex-presidents, mostly Republicans, have said, you're only one generation away of being right back there. And I think with the USA under Joe Biden, people minimizing Donald Trump or throwing him to the wolves, or, saying that he shouldn't be around. Well, that Republican Party and his administrations learned a lot, a tremendous amount. I'm blessed to have had some opportunity there. I can tell you, all opportunity to quality of the person and dealing with these issues at hand in a troubling world that you're all seeing. I don't care where you are in your status. You're all seeing it. You're all feeling the effects. You know in your heart something's wrong, something's amiss, and it goes far beyond the pandemic, scamdemic, call it what you will, because it's happened many times before. It goes far beyond that. And if you haven't looked at history and you didn't see the subsequent first pandemic, scamdemic, all the same crap leading out of World War I, and then the dirty 30s and what happened worldwide as a reset from the wealthy elite who just took too much and they got away with it, and they're doing it again, and it's a cycle. And all of you and your children will pay. You will fight their wars as they try to switch gears and shift you into that and skip another generation over and over again. It's sick. It's wrong. I'm happy so many have woken up. I love it when conservatives wake up. Ron is one of those individuals. And when the time comes, maybe me and Ron can start sharing platform. I can build him up on Facebook, and maybe he can build me up on YouTube, because I'm very close on YouTube, and I would love to have that open channel. But we'll see. There's so many across Canada who've known for many years, and I love seeing those posts. I love it when people step outside the crown, and they say, hey, wait a minute, this is wrong, there's something amiss. I'm going to start looking at things as they are and in their own way, not necessarily my way. You know, I never half-ass things. I go far. And waiting to see what happens with my international law class. It's looking really good for me. Nothing yet. I keep looking through the day, and we'll see how that goes. I want to finish it. I've come a long way with that, and I hope it works out. It's, you know, I wonder if the Canada session, that extra session with Canada, I wonder if maybe that was my big misstep. Hard to say. I don't know. I don't want to try and look at things as they're bad, but you know, that's how it is sometimes, and I never regret the actions I take, the things I do, or the narratives I go through, because it's all part of life's journey, and I do love the journey I'm on. I'd rather be awakened to the world than blind to it, as I was for many decades. Like so many, head down, work, go through your career, and you know, it's I'm going to continue to do that. And no matter what happens or where the government goes, and it's getting bad here in Canada, a lot of